This is the 2024 Audi SQ7, and there's been a major change to this new SQ7. No longer are they diesels, this now has a petrol engine in it. And in this review, I'm going to talk a bit more about that later on. But as part of this review, what we're going to do is we're going to take you around the exterior of the car, then we're going to jump in the car and show you the interior, and then we'll take it for a drive and find out what it's like on the road. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my channel by pressing the subscribe button below. Alright, let's have a bit closer look at this Audi SQ7. So looking at the front here, not a huge amount has changed really. You've got these more updated LED matrix lights here, and that's pretty standard across the Audi range, across all their newer models there. You've got this nice big black grille, and you've got the black Audi rings here as well. Makes it look a lot more sporty here at the front. You know, it's something more serious in the pure range because it's the SQ7. If we take you around the side here, you can see it's got these 22-inch wheels on there, and they actually don't look too big on this. They look like a good size on this. The owner of this has got these specially sprayed in that black, and I actually really like with that black on black. Not all cars I like that black on black look, but I reckon it looks really sexy in this Q7. You can see these brake calipers, they're massive. They look really big, that racing red color there. And the discs there, just the standard discs, they're not cross-drilled or slotted or anything like that, but they're still pretty big size. I'm sure it'll stop really nicely as well. As we come along the side here, it's got these black roof rails, which mixed with that whole contrast of being black everywhere. You've got the Quattro badging here on the side. It even feels nice to paint there. This is actually ceramic coated, this one's paint feels quite nice there. And then if we take you around the rear of the car, it's always my favorite with the SQs is the rear of the car. I've got an SQ5, and my favorite part of that car is the rear of the car. And with this car, same thing with this car. It's got these big quad exhausts here, which, you know, okay, this is something special, this is something sporty. They've dropped obviously the TDI badging because it's not a diesel anymore. And then you've got the SQ badging there, SQ7, and it's in a black there as well. Got these more updated lights again, not too different from the previous model there. And then you've got the wing on the rear there, as you had with the previous versions. No rear diffuser or anything I can see down there, so just a clean rear. But yeah, still looking quite nice, sexy. And then you've got that black rings as well on the back. Alright, let's jump inside the car and take a look at the interior. So as I hopped in the car, just turn it on now, and the steering wheel nice drops down for you, so you're comfortable in here. Looking in the Audi, as you'd expect, really nice looking interior, really quality in here, everything looks really nice. With the Audis, interestingly enough, this interior here has been around since about 2018, 2019. It came out originally in the Audi Q8, but Audi like to stick with their interiors. I've had a 2008 Audi, and I've also now got the 2014 SQ5. The 2014 SQ5 had pretty much the same interior as the 2008 Audi, and they actually didn't change that interior till about 2017. So this interior might be around for a bit longer. If we have a look at here, it's really nice screen, really nice clarity. It's not the biggest screen actually, it's only 10.1 inch, and in a lot of the new cars you're getting 12-inch screens. So Audi might try and squeeze a bigger screen in here, but it's still big enough. You've got this 8.6-inch screen below it, and that controls all your climate control. The infotainment system will obviously support Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. I'm wondering if it's got gesture control as well, because it looked like it did. No, I don't think it does have gesture control there. As we have a look further in the center console here, you've got your parking buttons, volume button there, your start stop button, a short gear stick here, you've got your electric handbrake, you've got two cup holders here, and also storage for the actual key. The center console doesn't have a huge amount of storage actually. You've got a nice place where you put your business cards in here, and then you've got some storage here. You've got your wireless charging down here, and you've got two micro USB sockets to charge whatever you need to charge. A nice carbon finish here as well, feels nice and smooth. If we take you and have a look at the dash, there's nice soft rubbery sort of leather. You got the piano black here. In this, it doesn't look like it's marking up a lot, and actually that's good. It's not, if I touch it, it doesn't. Sometimes with this piano black, you touch it on some cars and it marks up a lot, but not with this. And you've got a nice carbon finish along the the bottom, which is just a nice contrast there between the different materials. You see the cool Bang & Olufsen speaker just poking up there. I'll talk a bit more about that sound system a bit later. If we take you to the seats, they're a Velcona leather. You've got the nice diamond stitching. They feel really good quality there. And you've got the S badge as well embedded into the seats. If we have a look around at the side, you've got the carbon again. You've got the leather, they feel nice armrests, and this has got 4-way electric seats you can adjust yourself with. Taking around to the steering wheel, interestingly these days with the newer Audis, that the sports versions, the Audis opted to go for the round steering wheel instead of the flat bottom steering wheel. I actually prefer the flat bottom steering wheel. I think it looks a bit more sporty and a bit unique, but they've decided to go away from that. You've got all your major controls on here, and you've got your paddle shifts behind there. You've got a nice big virtual cockpit, and that will sort of, you can change it to all different views there. And then you've obviously got the heads-up display. You won't be able to see in the camera, but you can see how fast you're going, and you can change a few of the views. All right, well, that's the front of the car. What we'll do is we'll take you around the rear. In the rear of the Audi now, and you've got a reasonable amount of legroom here. I thought you might have a bit more legroom. I pushed this seat a bit further back. It's on rails, and that does give me a bit more legroom there. And if we push it forward, obviously we have a bit of less room there. As we have a look around the rear of the cabin, the drivetrain comes up a tiny bit, so it compromises a bit of that middle seat, but not a huge amount there. You could still get your legs around that fairly easy. You've got the rear zone climate control. It's actually 4-zone climate control that you can control, and you've got a few ducts. So you've got your air conditioning ducts here, and then you've got some there as well, so certainly enough to cool the rear passengers down. If we have a look further below, underneath here, you'll see it's got 2 micro USB sockets to charge any sort of ports that you've got. And what I did find interesting in this Audi is it's got an ashtray holder here, so I'm not sure what the reason is. I haven't seen one of those in the car for God knows how long now, 15, 20 years or something like that, but Audi decided the SQ7 needed it. And you've got, again, a nice carbon finish around here, feels nice. And then you've got your armrest here, which will come down, and you've got 2 cup holders in there as well, or you can just use it as an armrest there. Headroom, got more than enough headspace in here, so any tall adult shouldn't have a problem of fitting in the rear. So we're just going to check out the third row and see how useful it is, especially for adults here. I haven't tried this yet, so bear with me. So I'm assuming I just push here, and then this comes up, or let's see. It's always interesting to see how easy or how hard this is. And this bit here, and I can pull it up, and now, oh, that's okay. It kind of now starts to bring itself up electronically, so it makes you don't have to really pull it up. We'll hop in the rear, see how easy it is. I'm not that big a guy, so it shouldn't be that difficult to get in the rear here. And I'll hop in. We've got the Audi umbrella in here, so we'll just put that to the side, and then I'll try and, there's not a huge amount of space in the rear, just to be honest here. I'll pull this back down just so we can see, and I'll pull this back up here, and then we'll just put it as if we're passenger. Okay, well, that'll do. It's just a bit difficult there. Yeah, I think as an adult in here, you'd struggle. I don't think it's really meant to be for adults here at all, because I'm not that big, and you can pull those seats forward, so you'll definitely have to pull those seats forward in front of you there if you're an adult to have any sort of leg room. The headroom's actually not too bad. I'm good with the headroom here, but I think you wouldn't want too many adults here on a long trip. But for the kids, if you move those front seats forward, it's more than enough room probably for a long trip. It seems like it's wide enough to give you enough space. That's the third row here. You've got some cup holders on the side. The boot space here, it's 617 litres. I thought there'd be a bit more capacity in it than that, but this still looks like a very big boot, and it's more than enough space to fit most things in there. If we have a look around, we can see there's some buttons here. This is to lower the tailgate if it's too high for you, or you want it easier to sort of put heavy items in there. These are the electronic buttons to get that third row up from here, and we can just show you that now if you're interested. And you can see it just comes up there. I think it's got stuck actually because of the umbrella. Oh, you can actually hold it and it comes up reasonably quick. You just tilt that up. If you want to bring it down, it then automatically drops the head rest down for you, so you don't have to push it down, which is nice there. This has a bit of storage in underneath here. It's no spare tire. It's got a puncture kit here. That looks like what it would be, I guess, is for the audio system there. But yeah, a tiny bit of room, not a massive amount of room down there. It's got an electric close here, obviously, so it closes at a reasonable speed. Alright, well, let's find out what the car's like on the road. So what's the SQ7 like to drive? Well, initially jumping in the car, it's really easy to find where everything is. It doesn't take too long to get the car going. Looking around the car, there's no real blind spots, which is great. Big cars, sometimes you get a lot of blind spots that just make a big car even harder to drive, but this is clean. Like, you can get a really good view around, and there's no real spots where I can't see other cars, maybe if I'm in certain situations there. How's the car feel driving it? It's really smooth. I'm in comfort mode at the moment, and it just feels really smooth, nice, not much wind noise or anything else outside. And then I've got a lot of different settings here. In the drive select mode here, so we'll just press the drive select button, you can see some of the different options. We've got an all-road mode, which actually will even lift the car higher. That's sort of if you're going over a gravel road or anything like that. You've obviously got an off-road there, and then you've got your auto, and then you've got your dynamic, which we'll put in now, and that'll lower the suspension, start to tighten up the springs a bit. It's got adaptive air suspension in this car, and you can feel it actually rising and lowering a bit. And what it'll do is it'll open up the exhaust a bit, so you'll hear a bit of a louder exhaust. And I'll accelerate a bit just now, just so you can actually hear that V8 in. So you can hear it there. It's not super loud, but it's still definitely loud enough. At lower speeds, it actually feels a bit louder, so I might just slow it down for you, so we can actually get a better sound. Yeah, that's better. You can hear it there, just so still feels very sporty, sounds very sporty. The handling in this car is really good. You throw it around corners, it sits flat, and it don't really feel the weight of the car. This car weighs 2.3 tons, but you certainly don't feel that when throwing around a bend on there. It feels very confident, and you can just throw it in there and know that it's just going to stick to the road and you're not going to come unstuck at all. The technology in this car, you get a lot of technology as you'd expect with a premium Audi as standard. There's not really anything to really tick in terms of the technology with the options on this. So you get your front midgetation, your side midgetation, your rear midgetation alerts. You obviously get your lane assist, your traffic alert system. You get a full 360-degree camera, adaptive LED headlights, and pretty much anything that you need this will have in terms of technology. So the performance, well, I mentioned before that they've now put a petrol engine in it. This is a V8 4-litre engine, and that's pretty much the same engine as you get in the Lamborghini Urus or the Audi RS Q8. It is detuned and does have smaller turbos, but it still puts out 373 kilowatts and 770 newton meters of torque, so more than enough power. And that projects this car to 0 to 100 in 4.1 seconds, which is a lot faster than the previous SQ7, which did it in around 4.8 seconds. And shortly we'll show you that acceleration, and we'll do an acceleration run to see if it does feel like that 4.1 seconds there. Fuel consumption. Well, being a V8, it's definitely not going to be the most fuel efficient car, that's for sure. Audi quotes this as 4.1 litres per 100 kilometres, and that's combined. So obviously if you're in the city, you'd be more expecting to get something like 16 litres per 100 kilometres there. The sound system in this car is really good. So this has got the upgraded 3D Bang & Olufsen sound system in it, and it's a 23 speaker sound system. The quality is beautiful. It's one of the best sound systems I've heard in the car before, and it's got a lot of strength in it, where you can put a lot of these systems, you're at 75% and you're thinking, oh, you know, it could go a bit louder. This system I got at 50%, and you're thinking, geez, I'm only at 50%. It can actually go louder than that. The gearbox in this, so this has got just a torque converter 8-speed gearbox in this, and it's really smooth. You barely notice the gear changes or anything like that, and it does what you need it to do. If you need a downshift, upshift, it'll do it very quickly for you. Brakes on this, really solid, slow the car down as you'd expect very quickly. Steering on this, steering feels good. I think it's well weighted on this. It doesn't feel too light there. It definitely doesn't allow you the car to feel like it's a heavy car or anything like that. It keeps it feeling like it's just a normal car, not a big, heavy SUV. Alright, so we're going to test acceleration out here. We've just done a few runs just before, and I've tried to get the traction control working here, but I just can't get it to come on for some reason. So it's in dynamic mode. I've turned the traction control off. I'll keep my foot hard on the brake, hard on the accelerator here. So nothing's coming up. I'll just let it go. It still jumps off quite nicely. Yeah, it feels quick. That's already 100 k's an hour there. So the acceleration definitely feels like that, 4.1 seconds to 100. So yep, thumbs up for the acceleration. What do I think of the car? Look, I really like it. I think it's a great mix of a family car and a performance car. So if you just need it to be the family car, like, it certainly can do that without a problem, and it's a great touring car. But then if you want to have a bit of fun with it, you can certainly do that as well, and it will let you have a lot of fun with it, and it could feel like a little racy car. It's still a 2.5 ton car, so it's not going to be a Porsche 911 or anything like that, but it certainly handles very well for a 2.5 ton car. Price point will probably scare a lot of people. It's over $200,000, so it's definitely not a cheap car at that. But then, you know, if you think about it, the Urus and the RSQ8, which has got a similar engine to this in it, they're way more expensive than this. You could think about it as maybe a bit of a bargain there. So, and I've got really nothing negative to say about it. Generally, there's nothing I've found that can even talk negatively. Probably an overall comment, but that's more about really the Audi whole S range. Is they could start to make them look a bit more aggressive, or the Audi could have made a bit more changes to make this a bit more different to the previous Audis. There haven't been a huge amount of changes there, but they're obviously happy with what they've got, so you know, why change something that's pretty good in the first place. Anyway, thanks for watching this review. If you liked it, please give it a subscribe.